After months of rumors, hypes and early looks, we finally get the craziest looking Jordan 1 High Chicago ever. Hey up guys, Restock Really here. Today we'll be taking a look at the Spider-Man Air Jordan 1. The official title for this pair is The Next Chapter, and that symbolizes two main themes. The first one is part 2 of Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and the second being that this is the second iteration of the Spider-Man Jordan 1. Going way back, I want to say 2015, we did get the OG Chicago Spider-Mans, and they were more true to school, obvious looking Chicago ones. And to really play into that, the movie, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, Miles Morales himself wears Chicago ones. So there's been a fairly frequent crossover between Spider-Man and Jordan brand for some time now. And inevitably, I think we all knew the part 2 was coming. And with the upcoming release of the second animated Spider-Man movie, it made perfect sense to go all glitchy on us with this pair here. Starting off with the outsole, and this might actually be the craziest part of the sneaker, we have a red translucent glow-in-the-dark outsole. Now had it just been a translucent red outsole, I would have said, you know what, that's pretty cool. But I think adding the glow-in-the-dark sparkle effect is a great touch. Now not much of this shoe actually feels like a Chicago Jordan 1. In fact, only the white parts of the sneaker are reminiscent of a Chicago. We have a plain white midsole throughout this shoe. In fact, I don't know if it's just a lighting that I have, but there is a small sail sort of tint to this. But moving on, if you look at the underlays at the toe box, on the medial and on the lateral side of this sneaker, they all come in that fine white leather. And I have to say, this is some good quality leather. I love how smooth it is. It's got a nice plush bounce, and really and truly, it is something you wish you saw more often. Now, when you start looking at the overlays and all these section of panels, things get really overwhelming really quickly. And the funny thing is, the official colorway name has sort of labeled all of it University Red. But, you know, there's a bit more to it than that. If we look at the panel rounding off the toe cap, that actually comes in a University Red, and the leather quality on it is decent. It's okay. As we follow this panel towards the lateral side of the sneaker, we get a darker red panel in a harsher suede material. Directly next to it is a black and red sort of bleached panel, and going directly above that towards the eyelets, we have a red patent leather panel. If we follow it up towards the winding eye stay panels, we can see it comes in that repeating animated bubble pattern. And just above that, we do see more of the bleached leather and the patent leather. We then get to the wing logo strap, and things tend to go more pink than they do red. The first half of it is in small circular pink clusters, and the second part of it, which wraps all the way around the strap, are them pink animated bubbles we mentioned before. I really like what they've done with the wing logo here. They've given it the display sort of look, which I think is a great touch. And I've seen a whole bunch of early looks and supposed Spider-Man fans that are unboxing these shoes, and they don't seem to be telling the story of this. And although sneakers haven't given much away, I think if you're a Spider-Man fan and you've watched the movies, etc., you can sort of figure this out. Getting into the base heel of the sneaker, again we see that sort of bleached vibe with the light and dark red mixing in between. But now that it's a big panel and I can actually run my thumb across it, it does have a new book vibe to it. The entire heel panel is actually sectioned off into 3 pieces. On the lateral side we again feel that rough rugged suede, and on the medial side it's a material I really don't know how to describe. I mean, it feels and it looks like the kind of leather that got wet and then hardened out in the sun. It really is a weird cut of leather, and you don't see that appear on any other part of the shoe. Although the tongue is smooth, plain and creamy, I think the tongue tag itself is quite interesting. It's unlike any tag they've done before with the Nike Air, but it does remind me of when Peter Parker used to have them cage fights to make a quick buck back in the day. Now with any Jordan 1 Chicago, the black swoosh and the black ankle are a given. But with this pair though, things are really crazy. Not only are they both entirely black patent leather, but they've both also been given a really interesting iridescent sheen to them. Now with all this crazy, extravagant, unique design, they did miss the mark on some parts, which I'm really disappointed with. First off, the insole is just a plain black boring insole. I feel like they could have really had some fun with that and done something really cool, but oh well. The second one, and this really surprised me, this pair does not come with a lace swap option. I mean, come on, only black laces? These are the Spider-Man Jordan 1s, these should be special. I don't know why there's no lace swap option. And to make matters worse, we get to the shoe box itself. I actually covered it here because I was so disappointed. But I mean, come on. A plain, usual, boring, dull Nike Jordan 1 shoebox. Come on. This should have been a crazy popping box. There probably is a friends and family one, which is like extravagant and cool and whatever. but they all should have been like that. And I'm only speculating, by the way, I don't know if there is that sort of box, but this is just a bit disappointing to the concept, to the story, to the franchise, and Nike are usually pretty bang on with their storytelling. But what is the actual story with this shoe, and why are sneakers being so ambiguous? Now maybe they don't want to give too much away because it relates to the next chapter, i.e. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse Part 2, but I doubt it. Now I believe this shoe is pretty much what the movie tells us this shoe is, and that is a clear look of what the multiverse is, and that is a mismatch of the same object from different universes. Spider-Pig, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, maybe even Spider-Gwen. In different universes they are Spider-Man, but when they're lined up in front of us they are clearly different people and different characters. And if we apply that same logic to this shoe, we are basically looking at the same Jordan 1 Chicago, just from different universes. And just like in that Spider-Man movie when we saw the mashup of the universes and things going wrong and glitching, this shoe right here is the direct byproduct of universal glitching. And I think that really nicely explains the varying aspects of the shoe, and that helps explain some of the girly aspects of the sneaker, because I'm pretty sure there's a Spider-Woman out there too. And so yeah, this next chapter movie is going to have plenty of multiverse concepts and plenty of glitching, and I won't be surprised if Miles Morales or somebody are wearing this shoe themselves. And another thing I think we really need to focus on are the actual styles and patterns they've used in the shoe. They've directly adopted the animation style of the movie itself. Luckily, I've got these cards here to help showcase that. And by the way, this is some exclusive stuff, guys. They released these cards at select Odeons during the midnight premiere of the Spider-Man movie. And I've actually opened this pack so we can take a look at the cards, but this one still remains sealed. Now, if you look at the animation style of these cards, it's so obvious what I'm referring to, and that is the pattern of these small little circular clusters. Does that remind you of anything? Because it's plastered on panels of this shoe throughout it. And as far as these big pink circles go, there are a few theories for this, and again, it follows the direct animation style of the movie. The displacement of the wing logo, as mentioned before, that again showcases the glitching of the different universes, and I think the black patent leather features are quite symbolic too, because it shows within one single object there is still a variety of things going on. Now, I'm not saying I'm the world's biggest Spider-Man fan, and I know for sure this is exactly what's going on, although I have to say I have enjoyed my fair time with Marvel. Not at the moment though, this new phase seems to be flopping really bad. But you know, I think when you really look at the shoe, there is a story being told right in front of us. And by the way, this isn't just some hairy-fairy comic piece. This was an official movie collectible, and it was a custom edition as well. And if you weren't happy with this, if this wasn't cool enough for you, how sick is that? In fact, this is just giving me the perfect thumbnail idea, so we'll go with it. But yeah, that about brings us to the end of this video. I think aesthetically, it's a bit iffy for many people whether they'd actually want to wear it, but I think as a collectible, this is a must-have. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, make sure you comment your thoughts on this shoe, and maybe even subscribe if you fancy it. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys, and take care.